go deep up in the Malibu. I slide through where they slide through and serve beef like a drive-thru. My crew brings Christ to the alley. I'm a Cali fool, feed him the rock, call it the alley-oop. Yeah, Brody, you shanking where I bring the word. Gunshots, holding prayer circles where they stain the curb. We make disciples where they're toting Glocks, cause it's funkier than dope fiend socks. The block's hotter than some old steam pots. They rock product till the whole thing drops, chopping and hit the block from old green knots. God's the Father, and before he's mocked.
And welcome everybody to another edition of the Brody File. We are glad you are with us. This campaign, it's going to end soon, folks. I'll be in the all-day spa, the cucumbers on the eyes. Looking forward to that day. In the meantime, here we are again. Donald Trump, one-on-one. Don't mess with us. We ain't playing. We're behind the scenes. There we are. And guess what? Not just Donald Trump, Melania Trump. Oh my God, that's a two for that. Mark, is that not a two? That's a two for one. Two for one. That's a twofer. Donald Trump, Melania Trump behind the scenes. They're at the old historic post office, which is now Trump Hotel DC version. We had a chance to speak to both Trump and Melania. Here is some of that sit-down interview. Mr. and Mrs. Trump, great to see you both.
Thank you.
Melania, let me start with you. What has this campaign been like? Has this been more rough and tumble than you ever expected?
There were ups and downs, but it's an amazing experience, and the movement that my husband created, it's unbelievable. The people that they connected to him and he connected to the people, it's really very, very special.
We don't hear much about your faith because, you know, obviously the focus has been a little bit on you, just a tad bit. But tell me a little bit about faith and how important that is to you.
It's very important to me. I'm Christian. I grew up Christian, and I was baptized actually on his birthday. Can you believe it? So, and it's very, very strong in my family and also now in our family.
What is your, I'll get to you in a moment.
Oh, that's okay.
Don't you worry.
She's much better.
I do want to ask you though, evangelicals have been so supportive overall for Mr. Trump. What is your message to them in terms of their support? There's been some back and forth in the evangelical community, some supporting, some not, but most getting on board. What is your message there?
Well, we want to thank them to the support of my husband. We believe in them. We are standing with them, and we will be strong for them.
Let me ask you about the strategy for this last week or week and a half. Is it about the base at this point to make sure evangelicals, who are a big part of the base, that they get out? Because do you believe evangelicals are the ones, they kind of brought you to the dance, if you will, and they're the ones that are going to get you over the top here?
Well, we're doing very well with the evangelicals, and if they vote, we're going to win the election, and we're going to have a great Supreme Court, and we're going to have religious liberty, because religious liberty, let's face it, I saw a high school football coach the other day, and they were praying before the game. You know, they're going into combat, they're in the locker room praying, and I think they're going to fire him. And, you know, they suspended him. I think they want to fire him. Who ever heard of a thing like this? And I always say to you, we're going to all be saying Merry Christmas again. But the truth is, religious liberty is under tremendous stress. Second Amendment is under stress. It's really, I mean, if Hillary Clinton gets in, you're not going to have religious liberty. You're not going to have Second Amendment. So many different things. You're not going to have a termination of the Johnson Amendment. So I don't know. It's just a very important thing. And the evangelicals have been so great to me right from the beginning, right from the start. You know, I'm Presbyterian. I'm Protestant.
Yes, I do.
But right from the start, had they voted 4 years ago, and they didn't, you would have had a different result in the election instead of having Obama, who has been catastrophic for evangelicals and a lot of the things that we stand for.
I am wondering about your message to evangelicals, and I'm talking about the evangelicals that are not necessarily sold or on you, or are going to potentially sit at home. What is your message to those that are on the fence and aren't sure?
I love that you asked me this question, because honestly, you know, I am a nice person. I love helping people. That's why I'm doing this, because our country is in such a wrong direction. It's going in the wrong direction. We're not going to have a country if we keep going like this. For so many reasons. The military, which is in trouble. I mean, we can't beat ISIS. You just look at everything. You look at education is so bad. You look at Second Amendments. Look at everything is in trouble. And from the evangelical standpoint, religious liberty is in trouble. It's really in trouble. But I say this, United States Supreme Court. Whether, I hope they like me, but if they don't, they have to get out and vote, because if Hillary Clinton puts on these super liberal judges that she wants to put into the United States Supreme Court, justices that would be a disaster for our country, we're not going to recover from it, because they'll be on the court for 30, 40 years. We're not going to recover from it. So I say to people that, and I have had, as you know, tremendous evangelical support, and have it now. I think it's at the all-time point, but still, if there are some, I say, United States Supreme Court, we're going to appoint, whoever the next president is, we'll appoint definitely two. I mean, we have one on day one, because Justice Scalia, who's great, he was a great man, and his wife has my Trump sign, Trump Pence, and by the way, Mike Pence, great guy, but has Trump Pence on her front lawn, which made me very happy. But I'd like to get them in the mold of Justice Scalia. But I just want the people to remember United States Supreme Court. Whether they love me or like me or don't like me, we're going to put great justices, pro-life justices. We're going to put Second Amendment justices. And I think for the evangelicals, it's so important that they get out and vote.
Donald Trump and Melania Trump here on the Brody File. By the way, we're going to hear from the dynamic duo, the Trumps, later on in the show. We've got more footage, don't you worry. Hey, by the way, we're keeping track here at the Brody File. 9 interviews now with Donald Trump, so it's time to take a trip down memory lane. So let's go through the list, shall we? It all started at that wonderful golf course in California. Boy, that was nice, and you should have seen the expense report after that. That was in September 2015. Then, just a week or two later, we interviewed him at the Values Voter Summit in Washington, D.C. He trotted out the Bible. There he was with the Bible. I think he was reading from 1 Corinthians. Or was that 1 Corinthians? Anyhow, Trump then at Liberty University in January. Remember, that's where he did the Corinthians line. Then we met with Donald Trump in Davenport, Iowa, behind the scenes there at one of his campaign rallies. Then in February of 2016, Charleston, South Carolina, one-on-one. I'm looking a bit dapper, Jake Dapper. And then in June of 2016, we interviewed Trump at the Family Faith and Freedom Coalition event in Washington. Then in August, I was in Honduras on a cruise getting bronzed, and Jenna Browder stepped in and did our Donald Trump interview down in Orlando. And then our 8th interview at the Values Voter Summit in Washington, D.C. in September. And then, of course, this one in October at the wonderful Trump Hotel and Casino. No, I don't think there's a casino there. Anyhow, the Trump Hotel in Washington. Take that, mainstream media. All right, when we come back, one-on-one with Kellyanne Conway, Jenna Browder, doing the honors. Wait to hear a little bit about her faith, a little bit about the campaign. She's got the lowdown when we come back from the district.
Put your hands up!
Welcome back, everybody, to the Brody File. All right, look, time now for our one-on-one interview with Kellyanne Conway, the campaign manager for Donald Trump. Jenna Browder doing the honors, and believe it or not, she found Kellyanne Conway, get this, at the corner of Jenna and Browder.
My faith journey started the day I was born, the day I was conceived, because I was born into a very religious family where God and faith and country and family, of course, were always most important to us. And I was raised by a single mom, and my father left when I was about 2 or 3. We have a great relationship now. He has a wonderful relationship with my 4 children. They're pop-up. And I was raised in a household with my mother and her mother and 2 of my mother's unmarried sisters. And my mom was one of 4 girls. She was the youngest of 4 sisters. And everything that we did, we always invoked God. We always said a blessing to each other, to those in need, hung our heads, got on our knees to pray.
How has this campaign tested your faith?
Well, this campaign has deepened what's already been a love for this country and a love for the American people. When I travel with Mr. Trump and Governor Pence, I'm really struck most of all, Jenna, by the goodness of America. And when you see people lining up 8, 10 deep at a county fair that's not even near a population center on Labor Day, I'll give you that example in Ohio, I'm really just tremendously emotionally moved by these individuals. And when you walk around, I listen to them say to Donald Trump, please bring jobs back to this part of Ohio, or please save our country, or thank you so much for running and making a sacrifice. They don't say, may I have your autograph? I loved you in The Apprentice many years ago. They're really focused on him as the change maker. What's tested my faith is feeling like he really, if my faith has been tested at all, it's been that he's really treated very unfairly. And I think that he is persecuted in a way that is incredibly unfair and out of proportion. The media suffers from a lack of portion control.
So come November 9th, no matter what happens with the election, what's next for you?
Oh, well, we're going to win. So if I will win on November 8th, and 2 weeks from now is November 9th, so you can come back to me and ask me, how'd you do that? What happened? What do you think of all this? I will be honored if Donald J. Trump and Mike Pence ask me to help form their government, help form the next administration, and if I would feel called to serve in that capacity, of course. But I'll see where the Lord takes us, and I will see what does happen. I believe that we will win. It's got, and I believe that the country is calling, urging for true change, not just talking about it in polls. 75% of Americans now say that they want to take the country in a new and different direction. That's unmistakable. That's an unmistakable endorsement, and frankly, an unmistakable mandate. But you know, I've had my own company for 21 years, and I've loved having the company. I've loved being an entrepreneur, a job creator. I really love being a pollster. And before all of this, I felt, you know, that was what I did. I did a little bit of TV, did a lot of polling and focus groups for corporate clients and issues clients and media clients and of course political clients, Jenna. But we'll see what's next. And of course, the permanent job I do have that I'm fully tenured is motherhood. And my children, I've got twins that just turned 12 last week, an 8-year-old and a 6-year-old. And so that's my best and highest use, is being mom.
Jenna Browder with Kellyanne Conway here on the Brody File. All right, coming next, Obamacare. Dun, dun, dun. It's Halloween. Scary stuff. Jennifer Wishon dissects it all. There's some issues. Let's just say that. Back in a moment. Welcome back, everybody, to the Brody File. Hey, look, time now for Jenny in the B block, who has moved to the C block, and she can thank Donald Trump for that. We're talking about Obamacare. Jenny specifically talking about Obamacare and about all of the problems that have come along with it. It seems to be problem after problem, and here's a bit of a dissection from Jennifer Wishon.
This is all Vacation Bible School.
Like many American families, Will and Tina Clark signed up for Obamacare when their employer shut down its group insurance plan. They bought a similar plan, believing promises that they'd be able to keep their own doctors.
We had primary care, a children's doctor, pediatrician, OBGYN, and then a specialist. And one by one, when we went to utilize those doctors to set up appointments for different times that we needed them, those doctors said, yeah, we don't take that plan.
Not only that, in the Dallas metro area, they had trouble finding any doctors who took their plan.
I never found another OBGYN that would take it. So I just went without.
As they paid their monthly premium, other costs mounted. Will needs an expensive shot to treat a medical condition. It
was like $20 to $50 copay a month on the group plan. Under the Affordable Health Care Act plan, that copay jumped to $150 a month.
Eventually, the couple left their nonprofit employer. Since they didn't have jobs, Obamacare dropped them. It wasn't the safety net they expected, and the Clarks aren't alone. Jennifer Huffman from North Carolina writes, overall, it is still cheaper for us to be self-pay and pay the penalty than it would be for us to carry insurance. And my prescriptions are cheaper now using coupons than it was when I had health care coverage. Stephen Kurtz from Virginia writes, our family insurance was canceled, forced onto Obamacare, lost my doctor, premiums up, deductible up, prescriptions not covered.
Things are not looking good for people who are enrolled in Obamacare's exchanges because the premiums are going up by 70% in some states. The benefits are getting thinner and thinner so that sick people are having a harder time accessing the care that they need.
Michael Cannon, who studied the law for years, agrees with Bill Clinton's description of the current situation.
You've got this crazy system where all of a sudden 25 million more people have health care, and then the people are out there busting it sometimes 60 hours a week, wind up with their premiums doubled and their coverage cut in half. It's the craziest thing in the world.
Obamacare's insurance exchanges are losing major insurance companies, leaving many U.S. counties with only 1 or 2 health plan choices. Add to that an expected 25% increase in premiums next year. So what's creating this situation? It's a combination of insurance companies working to fulfill Obamacare's promises and not enough healthy people signing up. Now it's costing more than expected to care for those who are enrolled, and even when premiums are hiked by 50, 60, even 70%, it's still not enough.
What has happened in Obamacare is the federal government said, well, we're going to rob Peter in order to provide health care for Paul. The problem is they didn't rob Peter enough. And so the insurance companies aren't getting the sums of money they would need to fulfill all of Obamacare's promises.
You turn over for me, Moody? Good boy.
Rick Hammett is a veterinarian practicing in rural Virginia. His insurance premiums have more than tripled.
When the Supreme Court affirmed Obamacare, I was paying $232 a month. So we've gone from $232 to $740 in the 4 years since the Supreme Court has made the Affordable Care Act the law of the land.
Those extra costs create a ripple effect beyond Hammett.
For me as an individual, it's $6,000 a year I'm now paying. I can't put back into the local economy. I can't spend it at Food Line. I can't spend it at 7-Eleven. It's going into this machine.
A healthcare machine that appears to be crumbling under its own weight. Tevi Troy served as Deputy Secretary of Health under George W. Bush.
The private market is better at getting people covered. The employers are better at getting people covered, and we should be wary of policies that try and take people away from employer-sponsored care and move them into government forms of care.
I think the biggest thing that bothers me with Obamacare was the way it was sold. That the American people were just absolutely misled.
Troy says what really worries him is where the nation is heading.
When all of the baby boomers will have retired, around when the Medicare Hospital Trust Fund goes bankrupt, when the Medicaid annual costs go over $1 trillion a year, when, as some predicted, including some who worked on the ACA in the Obama White House, predicted that employers largely get out of the game. If all these factors come together, we're going to have a real healthcare financing crisis in this country.
The Clark family is once again on an employer-sponsored plan and no longer depends on Obamacare.
I was never so happy to get off anything in all my life, just because it was just a hassle. I mean, and not knowing, like if something happens to your child, or not having that, being able to call a doctor and get an appointment and get in and not be faced with thousands of dollars worth of medical bills. I mean, that's a peace of mind that basically was stripped away.
Open enrollment begins November 1st. As insurance companies pull out, at least 1.5 million Americans in dozens of states will be left searching for coverage. For the Brody File, I'm Jennifer Wishon.
Jenny in the B block, who's in the C block. When we come back, part 2. That's my French, by the way. Part 2. Donald Trump, Melania Trump. What else do they have to say when we come back? Welcome back, everybody, to Brody File. Hey, look, at the beginning of the show, we had Donald Trump, Melania Trump on the show, and now we're back with more footage. Why? Because we got the footage. We got lots of footage. Look, we don't leave anything on the cutting room floor. We put it all out there, and here is part 2 of our one-on-one interview in the district. And let me ask you about not the two sides of Donald Trump, but two different ways that you've seen him on the campaign trail. Some it's very fire and brimstone, and other times it seems more subdued, and it depends on the moment. What's been going on when you see, because you know the real Donald Trump, at real Donald Trump, that's the plug, by the way. Yeah, I figured I have to do that. But who is the real Donald Trump in the sense that we've seen different versions appear on the campaign trail at times?
Well, whatever you see, that's what he is. He's a fighter. He's a best deal maker. He wants to bring America back to the feet, to the best possible way. And that's what you see. He has a days that he really feels that he needs to fight for himself, and that's how he will fight for the American people.
Very nice. Hillary wants to run up the score on you. Democrats they might be a little cocky.
I don't think they're cocky anymore. I mean, now it's looking like we're leading Florida. It could be leading Florida big.
They're going to play in Arizona and Utah.
The new poll just came out. I think we're doing very well in Arizona.
Okay.
I mean, we'll speak in 2 weeks and we'll see what happens.
There are a lot of people praying for both of you right now. A lot of evangelicals and others, a lot of Christians. What do you want them to pray specifically for you about? What do you need prayer for, if you will? That's what we say in evangelical world.
Well, we always say health. Health is the most important, because if you have health, you could keep going, keep fighting, and do the best for the people of America. And he's planning, and we are planning to do that if he's elected.
What do you think?
I would really say pray for the country. And hopefully we can lead this renaissance, because we're in such bad shape. Owing $20 trillion, nobody even knows what it means, $20 trillion doubled under Obama. So many different problems we have, including ISIS and including lots of other things. I could name them. I could sit with you for 2 hours and just keep naming things. I would say I would like them to pray for guidance and to pray for our country, because we need prayer now almost more than we've ever needed it before.
Thank you both very much.
Thank you very much.
Good. That was
Thank
great.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, David.
Big thanks to Donald Trump, Melania Trump, and the Trump campaign for providing us that one-on-one interview. Look, we appreciate it. Good luck to him, good luck to Hillary, good luck to all of you. I'm going to Christian therapy. Back in a moment. And welcome back, everybody, to the Brody File. Look, I'd love to tell you where we're going to be next week. We have no clue. It's a campaign. We're moving, we're shaking. We could be anywhere in the country, though hopefully not New Jersey. Instagram, follow us there. Facebook, Twitter, we're everywhere. We might even be on Snapchat. Are we on Snapchat? We are. Oh, Amber C. Strong saying she's on Snapchat. Well, good for her, because the Brody File ain't. No, we are, but we're somewhere out there. I don't know. I'll have to ask my teenage daughter. Until next time, everybody, God bless. One last week. Have a great week.